And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's the Sunday before Mania as we record this. I can't believe it's already here. How you doing today?
I can't believe it either. I'm blessed, man. Doing real well. You and I spoke about our collective weeks, which I think we'll get into maybe in expedited fashion soon. But the week was pretty brutal, if I must say. But we made it. We're out here. It's like you said, it's the Sunday before Mania. Every year it sneaks up on me. We speak about it as if it's several months away, because it usually is. We really get in the thick of it around the Royal Rumble season. So I remember you and I speaking about, oh yeah, it's a year of the nightmares. We got Cody, we got Rhea, we got all this time until their big matches. We are on the precipice of it now. I'm so excited to get your thoughts on WWE, on AEW. I know you saw a movie as well, which we'll get into. So I can't wait for this episode. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Spring break is over. I'm reeling and sad that it is over. It went by quickly, and I think the biggest part of it was that I wanted to do all of this stuff around the house, including pick up the yard, get the yard work done, which we did accomplish yesterday. But like half the break, it was so windy and it was raining that it was just impossible to do anything outside. And all I needed to do during this whole break was be outside. So for 4 or 5 days of the break, I couldn't do anything. That really stunk. But I do have an update for you. Tyler, last week you were trying to convince me to get WWE 2K23. I did. I have downloaded the game. I have played it. And let me tell you what I played during the break. Gears of War 4. Gears of War 5, back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, about 2 hours of regret playing WWE 2K23. Can't stand it, hate it, don't like
No,
yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even ask you about this.
Yes, I know. This is a live reaction. Yeah, I hate it. I just, it's not fun for me whatsoever. The layout is dumb. It's giving me like an over complicated Madden experience with 4,000 options. People like all those options. I don't need that many options. I just want to play the damn game. But I got like 4 bricks of stuff coming up, and then I open it up and it's like I gotta watch Xavier give me 2-hour tutorials and how to play this thing. I just want to be able to play it. If it's so complicated that I need to be taught, I'm out. So I did a lot of play things, just doing like I'm gonna be this person and be that person.
Who were some of the people you played as?
I played as Asuka. Obviously I played as Xavier, did the tutorial to figure out combat and stuff, but it's like the combat is so basic. I didn't mind it, but it's like that's all I know. So I don't like getting on the top ropes. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know how to do move off of stuff. There's like 4 meters going on in the bottom. Like one's health, one's your body, one's, I don't know, adrenaline finisher, some bullshit. Yeah, but the finishers don't always populate when they should. And it's like, okay, my bar is full. I'm standing by his head. There's no finisher option. The hell is going on? I guess I'll just light attack, kick him in the face. Like that's all I got. And then heave Baron Corbin into a corner. And that's kind of it. Timing the reversals. I had fun for about an hour and I was like, this is the whole game, huh? This is it. All right. This is it. This is all it is. It's just this over and over and over and over again. All right. I'm telling you, man, like I don't like sports games. They don't tell me a story. I need a progression.
You did say that last week. You did.
I can see, I'll clarify. Tecmo Super Bowl for the Nintendo Entertainment System. People call it Super Tecmo Bowl. That is incorrect. Why would it be Super Tecmo Bowl? It's on an NES, first of all. Second of all, it's very clearly Super Bowl. People that have never picked up a controller or seen the NFL for real. I would play as QB Bills because they did not have the rights, or QB Eagles. Sometimes I would play as Don Mikowski. A lot of the times I would on the Packers. And what I loved about that is they would give you the standings right away and show you the chart. You could kind of see your journey. And that I appreciated. With this, I'm like, I'm playing a fictional everything to get a fictional belt, and it doesn't feel as important to me. And I don't know. I kind of gave up. And as soon as I saw you got to pay or earn points to unlock characters that I'd actually like to play as, it's like, what is this bullshit?
You're trying to play as Goldberg. You're trying to jackhammer some dudes, and
Of course.
You can't do that
Of
yet.
course.
Free agent Goldberg, mind you.
Either I just spent $60-$70 on the base game.
I know that's absurd. It is absurd. You're right.
You want me to spend $20 more so that I can play as this digital character that doesn't look any different than the last game? Really? Really? I know that's not a fresh scan of Ultimate Warrior. So what am I getting here? What am I getting? So I
hope everyone knows that I did not expect this promo. We didn't talk about this. I forgot that you told me you got the game. This is great content. But I'm so sad that you didn't enjoy I feel like you bought the game, you played for an hour, and you're probably not going to go back to it until summer at this point.
I already downloaded everything else because I was like, I haven't committed to deleting it because it's an easy game to just sort of pick up. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was re-downloaded. I purchased that damn thing, so now I own it forever. I don't have a disk drive. I can't return it for more games. It's straight up. It's in the digital library for all time now. I can't just sell it back because it's not fun. I'm sure people like it. People like the experience of doing the customization stuff probably more than playing the game. I kind of feel like playing story mode on Minecraft is similar to people's experience of just building a world around it. People are there for the creative part more than they are for the actual in-ring stuff. Because like the entrances are awesome. The graphics are incredible. Some of the moves look really, really cool. I thought the reactions by all the wrestlers are awesome. Like Roman specifically, all the stuff Roman's selling is perfect in game. So I really appreciated all of that. I don't know. I don't find it that fun. It's so limiting in what I can do. I think the AEW game might appeal more to me being more arcade style. I need that arcade element in there. Because otherwise I'm playing a simulation game and not playing a sports game. I don't want that. I don't want a simulator. That's not for me. That's like playing a hunting game. I'm good. It'd be like, oh, I could play Halo, or I could buy this game where I go to a shooting range. What? Why would I want to do that? Like, how does it start? Put on your hearing protection? Like, no, I just want to go into Gears of War and chainsaw dudes in half. That's all I really want.
Yeah.
So I did that. I played through Gears 4 because I haven't done it in a long time. 2020 or 2021 was the last time, I believe, probably pandemic era. And I played through because I couldn't remember it. I was like, okay, this game's not very good. And then played Gears 5. Game is awesome. Can't wait for Gears 6. But I love the progression of the story. I remembered my choices that I made in the story the first time around. So I did different ones this time to see what would happen. So that was fun. And then I just went back to mindlessly trying to fill the map on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which has been quite the task because that game is bloated. But I'm excited for Mirage coming out. I'm excited for Jedi Survivor coming up. I'm excited for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming up. Legend of Zelda Dark Souls 2, basically. I love those games. I need a story. I need a place to go. I need that. I took a risk on it. I thought maybe it would be different this time around. I will say I do like the gameplay mechanics so much more than I used to. So much more. So I'll probably go back into it at some point and maybe commit to learning all that stuff. But I'm sure it's easier for people that have played for a long time to just sort of jump in and start doing stuff where it's like, I haven't played a wrestling game literally since WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah, I knew you were. Yeah.
Except whatever,
ago, man.
It was whatever WWF game was out at that time. I don't know if it was Raw or what it was. Yeah. It wasn't No Mercy. I never played No Mercy. It was a different game around that time, maybe earlier, that I rented, and I was like, this sucks. That was the game where I was like, this is just a fighting game. But the Revenge game was a lot like kind of the mechanics similar to this, but also like all the secret shit that I don't know how to do.
This was
Cheers.
an unexpected promo. I'm still shook by it, man. I appreciate that you did highlight the aspects of the game you enjoyed. Like you, I am such a mark for the entrances, for the updated roster. For some reason, like seeing Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, obviously
Kind of
updated
updated.
Ricochet,
Kind
kind
of
of updated. Cody
T-Bar's
Rhodes is
still in
on
there,
the
man.
game. It was pure elation for me.
Why is he still T-Bar though? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a quick update. All you
Eh,
got to do is a name, push out the name
Yeah,
update.
it's true. And the ratings, some of the ratings are a bit questionable for
Yeah, they're
some of the
crazy.
guys. Like, how is this dude so low?
Yeah.
I think you have a very valid point though about just the sheer absurdity that we drop $60 or $70 for a game, and
Yeah.
yet there's more to unlock, which is usually behind an additional paywall.
Yeah.
That's unforgivable. I am wholeheartedly in agreement with you there.
I miss the days where it was like, you play Mortal Kombat 2 and you had to do certain tasks to unlock characters and then you could unlock them. I loved doing that. I loved being able to play as Reptile if I did all the things to be able to unlock Reptile or Smoke or whoever. I loved being able to do that. I think that was Mortal Kombat 3. I loved those options. I hate that I can't have those options in this game. Shit, Mario Kart has those options. Like you just go out and win some races and boom, okay, I can play as this character now. That's sweet. Instead, I got to go earn coins and then figure out where to spend them. But you only earn like maybe 100 coins, probably like 50 coins tops every time you do like a singles match. And then these things cost 1,000 coins. Like, no, I'm not going to sit here and just grind for 17 straight days so I can unlock the Rock.
Yeah.
Jesus, just have them unlocked already.
Yeah, right.
Well, you don't have to do that. You can pay for it. That's the point. I don't want to pay for it.
I'm not dropping $100. This is not
No.
$100 investment for me.
Absolutely not. Yes. Oh,
Hey,
on that.
Well, so yeah, speaking of WWE, Brad, you know how this works. You have a question for me. I have a question for you. Hopefully, we have some thoughtful commentary kind of sandwiched in the middle there. Are you ready for my WWE question?
Oh, I'm ready.
And now, it's time to talk WWE.
So, Brad wrote a new article for the site entitled The Internet Wrestling Community Void. Check it out at gimmickinfringementpod.com today. It's so good. Brad, I'm so proud of you for getting it out during your spring break. Really enjoyed your thoughts. And I think it's just a really great encapsulation of the time we find ourselves in on Twitter. Yeah, on social media and just the constant battle to try to just enjoy the product and not feel like we're choosing sides or someone's opinion is more valid than others, when the fact is none of us have stepped in the ring and we're all just fans of this, right?
Yeah.
So I want to give you a plug there. But in it, you reference your return to watching wrestling in 2020 after a years-long hiatus. I distinctly remember 3 talents in WWE catching your eye within weeks: Bray Wyatt, Asuka, The New Day, and Rhea Ripley. My guy, Rhea Ripley is preparing for the biggest match of her career. She is main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania on Saturday, hoping to dethrone Charlotte Flair and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. As a big Ripley fan, possibly the biggest Rhea Ripley fan I know, how are you feeling heading into this match? And how would you want a new Rhea Ripley championship reign to look?
I want her to leave the Judgment Day as soon as humanly possible, number one. But I don't want her to necessarily drop this persona, because this persona, even though she's a heel character right now, this is as close to the NXT Rhea as we've had, right? Like she's finally the badass, like the ass kicking badass, not the one that was told to smile. Now when she smiles, it's creeping people out, right? Like it's sadistic instead of like, I'm a good guy. Haha. Like that was awful when she came in. When she got called up and Vince was just like, smile more. Oof. First of all, oof. Second of all, it was not her character. She was just an ass kicker. So I'm ready for the reign. I want her to beat Charlotte. I feel like this entire Charlotte title run has been awful. One of the worst title reigns maybe ever. What has she done besides not be on TV? Like, it's been dreadful. And I know she's kind of bulletproof, and Rhea needs that big win. And this is definitely the person. This is the story. Even though I would have rather have seen Rhea versus Asuka, I think this is the story that they need to tell. It's fine. Story wise, it's sort of baked in, but they're super lazy with it. They've been so bad at this build for both of the women's matches that if I didn't care about Rhea and didn't know the history behind it, I wouldn't care about this at all. Like, at all. So I'm excited for her reign. Am I hyped for the match? I know it's going to be a good one. Charlotte Flair is an incredible wrestler. Rhea Ripley is an incredible wrestler. This match is probably going to end up being one of the best matches during the weekend. And I think people are just forget it's there because we all go, oh, Rhea's going to win the belt. It's like, yeah, but she has to wrestle the match first. It's not going to be a squash match against Charlotte. They're probably going to get like 15 to 20 at least. So it's going to be a great match. I can't wait for the match. We know that Rhea's going to win. I hope that Rhea wins clean. I think Rhea has to win clean. If anybody gets involved, it's gonna be stupid. I don't know, man. Like, the only thing I can see happening maybe is if there's interference to cost Rhea, and Rhea gets a rematch on Monday night, the Raw after Mania. Maybe that happens. I don't know. I don't really need it. I want Rhea to win. I'm ready for the reign. I want to see her continue being a badass, and I want to see her beat up everybody on the way. I hope her reign is like, I don't know, 2 years long. Just let her run with it forever, because I don't know that who's the next person up. Raquel probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a match.
I think that's a safe bet.
They had a banger in NXT, so I'm sure that'll be a good one.
She was a big deal in NXT. She had a lot of momentum, and then I think at some point it really cooled off for her. But early, like her chase to the NXT Women's Championship and the early stages of her title reign, she was as hot as I would argue as anyone in the company. She really had a moment there for a long time.
I agree. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing Rhea reign, but I don't really have anything else to add. That match is going to be great, and her reign is going to be great. I hope she leaves Judgment Day because she doesn't need them, and that's it. But I'm fine if she stays heel and stays like this because she's awesome.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well said. She has to win, in my estimation. There's no doubt that she is going to leave LA with gold. For the Judgment Day, you're right. They're in such a fascinating spot because 3 of their 4 members have prominent matches this weekend. And I would say, I mean, perhaps I'll pass it to you in just a moment to hopefully not go too long on this, but I would say that the 3 members of the Judgment Day are favored to win each of their matches. I know that can be debatable, but I think Rhea's for sure winning. I think Finn must win as the Demon. He already lost inexplicably at Extreme Rules against Roman. What was that, Extreme Rules 2022?
Yep, the exploding rope.
Inexplicably, I think you would be doing a huge disservice if you have the Demon lose back-to-back matches. I think that would be completely unacceptable. And then Dominic, this is maybe the one most in question. You could convince me either way of the better outcome, but Ray winning, although it would satisfy us, and maybe that's the route they end up taking, right? But to me, it would seem like this is a spot where perhaps Dominic wins clean over his pops, and they sort of embrace after the match. And I don't know if that leads to a Dominic babyface turn, because he's been doing this prison dom, convict dom character so well. I don't know what the right spot is for him.
Yeah.
And then you have Damian Priest, who's setting up likely for a big opportunity in Puerto Rico at Backlash, right? He has to be on the card in a prominent match. He's going to get cheered out the building. So for the Judgment Day, I don't know if that group is going to turn into being people we now want to root for, or maybe each of them go their separate ways. But like you, I could totally see Rhea winning and then leaving the group to do her own thing. And I think she'll be cheered because we love her. We know this is her time to be dominant again. So I'm really hopeful, man. I don't know that this should be the main event for night one. You know, I fantasy booked the tag match being there. But I'm just stoked that Rhea's getting this platform. Like you said, the match is going to be far better than the build to it. And there's just no doubt in my mind that she's going to become champ again. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. I think it'll be great. I'm also looking forward to this build to be over because it's been pretty bad. That Charlotte promo was weird. I couldn't tell is she a heel? Is she
Right. And
it was
the
confusing.
what chance persists. Like, why are we
What year is this?
as an odd? Yeah, I still loathe those.
Yeah, same. Okay, my question for you does involve the Sammy KO storyline. It's the match that I think we both agree and most of the world agrees should be what main events one of the nights, probably night one. It's crazy that it's not main eventing, but it's only because of the build. Now, thinking about the build, I was thinking about this last night when I was watching SmackDown, finally catching it, and it's Kevin Owens, man. So at the beginning of Roman Reigns' title run, when he pinned both, well, I don't remember who he pinned. I think he pinned Fiend, but he wrestled Strowman and Bray when he came in 3/4 of the way through the match, then just started attempting pins when the ring had exploded and everybody was dead in the ring. And he eventually won, has not lost since. One of his major feuds during the pandemic era that lasted for, I think, months was how many matches did he have with KO? 3?
I think
It was two or three straight matches with him.
I think so. Yeah.
And they were all crazy matches. Like some of the most memorable spots from the Thunderdome era, right? Like jumping off the top of the TV sets and
Royal Rumble. Yeah.
the fight backstage.
Yes.
A lot of that stuff. So my question is this: KO's been in it for a long time. Is KO's bloodline story the most underrated element of this entire thing?
Definitely. I think you sold me a ticket with that question. You're right. It's so much of the focus has been on Sammy with good reason. And then you also have main event Jey Uso
Right.
versus Roman, and very likely that match that we're probably going to get at some point this year, which has been just superb. You have Paul Heyman there. It's been great. But you're right. Kevin Owens has been really a subtle winner in all of this. He has the matches dating back with Roman, feuding with Paul Heyman. You laid that out brilliantly, Brad. Yes, it's been super underrated. And glad KO is now having back-to-back huge Mania moments. I also think him and Sammy are going to leave with gold. I think they're definitely going to beat the Usos. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction. And then last year, he obviously had the big fight against Stone Cold. I remember I've been watching long enough to call back to, I think it was either Owens versus Zayn or Owens versus Jericho. And I think they did like a 24/7 special on the WWE, now defunct WWE Network, where it showed KO going to the back after that Mania match.
Defunct in America.
Defunct in America.
Everywhere else has it.
Well said.
Still
And
pissed.
Owens goes into the back. You see gorilla position, and he looks over at Vince McMahon and is like, "Hey, what did you think? Like, you feel good about that?" And then Vince said, I forget what Vince's quote was, but it was basically like, "That was garbage, man. Please get out of here. That was awful." And how down Owens was about that. So just for him as a performer who you and I love, I'm so happy that he turned around his WrestleMania legacy, because I was worried. It was grim there for a minute where it's like, oh man, you had a stinker or two. Vince kind of told you what he thought with, just no hidden agenda, just straight directly at you. I'm glad that he's been given the chance to shine because he's such a good talent. He's so unique. And like you said, this is for sure the most underrated part of this whole Bloodline saga. Kevin Owens has been an integral part. I'm assuming you agree.
Yeah, when I was watching last night, I was like, he's been in it longer than Sammy has.
Yeah.
And
Sammy joined after the egg, I think, right? After Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The golden egg. Yeah. Owens was there before.
Yeah, he was there for a long time before, and then had a second feud with Roman and the Bloodline, the entire Bloodline this time, not just Roman and Paul Heyman. And I don't think we even talked about it. I don't think it even got addressed. I don't think that part of it, KO has more of a reason to hate the Bloodline than anybody. And we're just not talking about it because the Sammy stuff has been so good. So I I don't know that it adds anything to the story, but I think there's part of it that's missing, that they're not selling enough of it, maybe through commentary or the video packages, that KO is just so integral to the formation of the bloodline and the needing the extra components to help handle bigger threats. You know, Drew McIntyre lost because Solo appeared. There's just certain things that have been underplayed somehow in this giant overplayed thing that we've been witnessing over the last couple of years now. Yeah. That I think KO is a huge part of it. Now, I did feel like they were planting seeds here for the Jay turn. I don't think Jay is team Bloodline at all. I think it's going to come back to that thing he said to Sammy when they were standing on the ramp. I think it'll come back to that at some point, because why would Jay say, but we don't have to wait? He took the microphone away and said, yes, we accept. We can be done with this. I kind of feel like Jay's going to throw the match so that he can intentionally drop the titles to hurt the bloodline. And that way he can be like, all right, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Now, I feel like it's a good story going forward.
Brad.
It's a good story going forward, right? Because then that gives him a reason to be mad at Roman for not stepping in and helping after all the times he's had his back. Where have you been, Tribal Chief? And then that can set up the eventual split and the eventual Jay Roman feud. That's been his plan all along, because Sammy acknowledged him as the Tribal Chief. There's so many things that we could go here. Or it was that's just Jay being impulsive and irrational in the moment and agreeing to something he shouldn't. No way to know. But I felt like that it's one of those Chekhov's gun situations. You can't reference something like that. You can't do it that way and not expect us to want to come back to it at some point. Or it's an exploding limousine situation. You know, you can't just drop it and be alive the next week. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait, man. This weekend's gonna rule.
This weekend's gonna rule because Tyler, WrestleMania is in Hollywood, and Hollywood does what makes great movies. It's time for another edition of GI at the movies. Play the music.
And now it's time for GI at the movies.
Tyler, this weekend, week. It was during the week, not the weekend. It was during spring break. Jess and I went to Shazam 2 after we watched Shazam 1 on HBO Max with Freya. It was there. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play it. I remember really liking the movie. I'll turn it on, see what Freya thinks. Freya was hooked. Loved it. Couldn't take her eyes off of it. A little creeped out by the monsters in it. But she did pretty good, and she really liked that it was funny, that it was kids turning into superheroes. She was fully invested. So when we said Shazam 2 is at theaters, do you want to go to the Roadhouse? Do you want to go to the place that has popcorn and food and stuff and the big reclining chairs? She was like, yes, let's do that. So we spent the day over at the Roadhouse. This was a fun movie. It's getting a lot of flack online because of how poorly it did at the box office. Now, the movie itself, I thought was not as good as the first one, but it told a pretty basic core story about the importance of family and of working together and having trust. And I don't know, I loved it. I loved the cameos that were in it. I loved that the story told events from different perspectives. I thought it was great. It made sense. A great sequel. And my first thoughts coming out of it is, how much better would this have been had Black Adam been the antagonist, who has always been Shazam's arch nemesis, always. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did not want to be a bad guy and only wanted to feud with Superman, did not want to feud with Shazam, and refused an appearance in the Shazam 2 flick. Tyler, should actors in roles have that much creative power over the long-term storytelling? Now, I know this is a wrestling adjacent question, but over long-term storytelling, when we're talking about film franchises, not just in-ring work, but an entirely scripted, edited product, not just an on-the-fly, I have to trust my body with this person. We're talking filmmaking. Should a singular talent have that much creative control?
Probably not, but it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know. He's one of one. He's an anomaly. Probably not, but for The Rock, I get it. But if I have to go with a yes or no, I would lean toward no. I definitely defer to you in terms of the Marvel and DC franchises of the world. But yeah, it does seem like a stretch where one actor or actress can then, by their decision, they can then effect or have long-term ramifications for the franchise moving forward. And interestingly enough, a film that's coming out later this year, which I'm really excited about, Fast. I think it's like Fast 10 now of the Fast and Furious franchise. The Rock also has legs in there and has reportedly, allegedly feuded with Vin Diesel and hasn't appeared in a Fast movie in years. My answer is no, but for The Rock, if there's one person where maybe there's an exception, I get why Black Adam, why Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the People's Champ, would be that guy.
Yeah, I really struggle with that particular part since Black Adam was such a critical and box office failure.
It's true. I still haven't seen it, but yeah.
It was a failure, and that might have helped contribute to the failing in the box office of Shazam 2, which was critically acclaimed and very successful because the tone is so different. It's lighthearted, it's fun, way more family friendly than the soul crushing events of the Batman, Superman, Justice League stuff that DC put out, where it's just dark, gritty death all the time, despair. And then you have Black Adam, which is a little bit of all of that, but it had a lot of good elements. My thought was, I don't think The Rock wants to see Black Adam fight Superman in a movie. I think The Rock wants to see The Rock fight Superman in a movie. And that was the difference. Now, I don't know. He might just be this enamored with that character. I'm totally speculating here. But to railroad the plans of DC and take out their one property that is kind of universally loved, the way that Guardians is loved for being so different in Marvel, to have Shazam miss at the theater despite an excellent cast, that really bummed me out, because I thought, man, why is DJ telling Warner Brothers executives no, and then them going, oh, okay, no, what? And this is the other thing that gets me about this. Okay. Batwoman was scrapped. Batwoman as a film was, I think it's entirely filmed, it just never got edited. And
no way.
The audience scores for it were really low, so they scrapped it. No release date, no marketing, none of it. Black Adam had the same audience score in the pre-screening.
Damn.
That's all I'll say. Okay.
Patriarchy persists. I have one question for you.
Sure.
Megan Good is in the Shazam film, correct?
Yes.
That's all I need to know. I'll be seeing it. I might wait till digital, but I will be seeing it. I'm sure I will enjoy it. Brad, my love, dare I say my crush for Megan Good, goes all the way back to the Nickelodeon days. Shout out to Cousin Skeeter. I know I sent you this GIF in one of our DMs, I think yesterday. And I haven't thought about Cousin Skeeter in years, but so happy for Megan Good being in this. Maybe I need to even go back to the first Shazam. I haven't. Do I need to start with the first one? Or
yes,
can I
it won't make
pull this
any
up on
sense
HBO?
whatsoever.
Okay.
Shazam, Black Adam are both on HBO.
Okay, say less. I got you. Consider it done.
I don't know that you need to watch Black Adam to understand Shazam, but Black Adam, don't get me wrong, I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was fun. I thought it was The Rock's most subdued version of The Rock, but like the dude's got one note. Like he's just playing the hits in every movie he's in. And this was the most different that I thought he was, even though it's still not super different. He's just very subdued with everything he does.
There's such a cloud around the film too, as you brought up, that part of me wishes I didn't see so many reviews or hear so many reviews about it, because I wonder if that's gonna impact my experience. There's just such negativity around it, but you really enjoy The Rock. I love the dude too. I definitely got to give it a shot.
I think you'll enjoy it a lot. Honestly, I think you'll like it a lot because of the negative reviews, because you can watch it and go, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And that's what happened. That's what happened. That was my experience. I waited until it came out. on HBO Max. I watched it. I was like, this was pretty good. I'm not going to watch it again, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be because they haven't given me a reason to watch it again. It's like the movie ended, the franchise died. WB is hitting restart in the entire DC universe. All of the characters getting scrapped except for like one or two. It's very confusing because the end of Shazam 2 leads into a post-credit scene for Peacemaker. So I don't know what they're doing with that, if anything. That might have just been a one-off little thing for people, and then it just...
Isn't that John Cena's gimmick?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Everything is wrestling.
Yes.
Brad, it all comes back to this sport, this entertainment that we love. Speaking of which, we love WWE. We also love AEW.
And now, it's time to talk AEW.
Busy week in AEW. I'm just going to hit you with my question, whether you're ready for it or not. So, I'm only slightly in my feelings about this week's Dynamite. Only love and gratitude to all of our listeners across the country. But how did Independence, Missouri
It's a good question.
end up with, in my opinion, a 10 times better card than us plebes in Phoenix, Arizona? They got Sting. They got Darby Allin was there. They got a fun women's match. FTR. And Top Flight, the Guns.
They filmed Rampage there. They also got Jade live. They also got
Jade. Thank you.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Hobbs versus Penta.
Yeah.
So Dynamite in particular was loaded this week.
Yeah.
I, unsurprisingly, want to ask you about the main event. I agree with your tweet. Vikingo appears to be made of elastic.
Yeah.
I want to focus on his opponent, though. What did you make of the developing storyline around Kenny Omega? So he defeated Vikingo. He is going to face Jeff Cobb this week. We're really getting the singles push for Kenny Omega.
Finally.
So, yeah, what do you make of that developing storyline? And specifically, what are Don Callis's intentions? And are the Blackpool Combat Club's nefarious actions leading to an anarchy in the arena match at Double or Nothing, as you and I have been speculating?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think Callis is absolutely trying to destroy the Elite. I don't know why. Maybe he's gonna join the Blackpool Combat Club as their new mentor since Regal's gone, and that's why they're more violent and vicious. Because who's the leader? There isn't one. They're just a club right now. But if you have club membership dues, somebody's got to take the membership dues. And I don't know if the Blackpool Combat Club.
They got to invest that in better hoodies as well. It just is
those are
Blackpool Wrestling now. I can go to like the Frog Printing Jones place and get that done.
It's bad.
What happened?
Yeah, the new ones are bad.
The merch was so promising.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
I'm not really loving the Blackpool Combat Club because people still want to cheer for Mox. Because like
the entrance music and
heel Mox is, what's the difference? He's always been kind of a heel, right? Like
he's always given us middle fingers and throwing water bottles and
like I don't really see much of a difference. Heel Claudio, I'm here for. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Heel Yuta is great. Gives him an edge. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about this. We'll see. Where does Danielson fit in all of this when he comes back? Is he coming back? There's so many questions, which is what I love. But Don Callis definitely has bad intentions. He very clearly was setting up Hangman there to cause a rift. Kenny, I'm sure, is going to see right through it when he watches back the tape because they've done that before where they're like, well, it was a misunderstanding. I watched it back and saw that it was clearly an accident. They've done that before in different feuds. So I think it'll lead to that. Or Kenny's stupid. We're going to find out how they book him next week. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I love what they're doing with Kenny. I assume that the Blackpool Combat Club is responsible for taking out Matt and Nick, but we don't know yet. So we'll find out. It could be like they come back and it wasn't Blackpool Combat Club at all. It was Don Callis, or it was Takeshita, or who knows what it was.
Yeah, I think you floated a fantasy booking theory out there. Maybe a certain Phil Brooks from Chicago.
Yeah, we'll get
that. That was before.
We'll get back to
Instagram
that.
story.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you already got me
it.
covered.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Oh man. Well, obviously Kenny Omega being in singles matches is incredible. My favorite part, probably of all of Dynamite, was the Justin Roberts leading into Kenny Omega's entrance. I'm a sucker for that every time. The way he finds to insert North Carolina always pops me. It's just
So good.
Kenny Omega is such a star, and I think it's important that we have these reminders of what he can do as a singles competitor. Because in my mind, his championship reign feels like so long ago that it's nice to have this Kenny, especially a babyface Kenny. I just really appreciate it for selfish reasons. You're right. Don Callis has always been nefarious. We know he's up to something. I don't know exactly what that is. We know he's been courting
Yes.
Takeshita, but that seems a little too on the nose. Like maybe there's something else going on that's not just him trying to align with Takeshita and maybe like a Takeshita Omega tag team. Obviously, Callis is not messing with the Bucks these days. He wants Kenny to separate. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm really intrigued by your idea that maybe Callis is working with the Blackpool Combat Club. Definitely think this is leading to Double or Nothing. This would be a huge pay-per-view match. Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. I don't think that's going to be a big Dynamite. I think that has Double or Nothing written all over it. So I'm really loving this, man. This is something for us to sink our teeth into.
I'm wondering what happens here too, because I don't know if Kenny tags with somebody, maybe it's Takeshita, or maybe Callis said he really loves Japan and Japanese wrestling. Maybe it's Ibushi. Kota Ibushi is a free agent.
We've seen the tea leaves. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
The Golden Lovers would be the reunion,
Golden
right?
Lovers.
But maybe that's the way to bring him in and be like, hey, you teamed with Hangman. I'm pissed about it. You didn't tag with me as I die.
You're right about the Golden
Good
Lovers.
Lord.
I mean, that would be amazing. We know apparently Kota Ibushi's available. So
yeah.
why
Yeah,
not?
so
Why not?
why not bring him in if
to.
you can afford it? I don't know what if they have a budget. It seems bottomless. If you bring Kota Ibushi in for a tag with Takeshita, they immediately need to win the tag team championships from whoever has them. But the Kenny Omega stuff would be really interesting with Kota, with Don Callis, with Takeshita. All of that could be really interesting.
Oh, Brad has been dropped. What in the world? I'm gonna timestamp this. He's back.
I
We'll
tapped
just let it roll. I'm not gonna timestamp it. We're keeping it in.
this. Okay. Anybody that has one of these Mac mouse, these touch mouse things, if you brush it by accident, it'll just go back a page. It's like you can swipe left or right on it to not for Tinder, but like to go back or
Not for Tinder.
page.
Shout out undergrad. Yeah.
I just went straight back. I just left the studio and I went to the load screen. Very frustrating.
You're back, man. Yeah, in summary, for me, you're bringing up a lot of great points. If we could have somehow a 5-on-5 where Danielson returns to the Blackpool Combat Club, they go ahead and scoop Takeshita, because I think Takeshita is more of a Blackpool Combat Club than an elite guy.
Yes.
And then on the elite side of things, you have the Bucks, Kenny, Hangman, who's been essential to this, by the way. So glad he's here. And if you bring Ibushi to be with the elite, I mean, hey, I'm here for the 4 pillars, four-way, but that's
the ticket.
I would then be shocked if that's not the main event. Like that's just star power everywhere. That's the one, right? That's the 5-on-5.
I legitimately, when I said it, meant like that's what you put on the ticket, and then I realized I turned into a 1940s newscaster. That's the ticket.
That's the ticket.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Walter
yes,
Cronkite,
that is
Walter Cronkite Jones,
ASU person here.
ASU, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, man,
that's the match. That's the 5-on-5.
It has to be. I refuse anything else.
Yeah, at least maybe co-main event status. I don't think you're opening a show with that. I don't think you're placing it in the middle. I think that has to be at the top of the billing.
I'm stamping this one. That's good right there. Okay.
All
right, Tyler. This is as said earlier. It's been a week, man. We haven't had much of any crumb, any morsel, any glimmer of CM Punk saying anything for months. There's been speculation recently that he's healed, that he's ready to come back, all of those things. I don't know what prompted this Instagram post. I have absolutely no idea. I will credit Denise Salcedo for screenshotting this and putting it on her Twitter. I'm going to read the post for people that have not heard it. Sigh, all caps. I wasn't cleared to come back to wrestle yet. Then plan was to wrestle at the PPV. So I believe this is the right before the squash, right? So I sat and listened to Moxley's Rocky 3 idea. I explained how I'd never seen a Rocky movie. And I thought the idea sucked, but if the boss wanted to do it, whatever. He said he wouldn't lose to me. I'd never experienced someone refusing to lose to me. I just laughed. I asked Tony if this is what he wanted. He said yes. He's the boss, so I said okay, but I'd need to be cleared first. They kept saying it could just be a squash, so I didn't need to be cleared. I scoffed at that. My health is more important. Dave Meltzer is a liar. Jericho is a liar and a stooge. There were plans, but plans always change, but I'll never put a company above my health ever again. Tyler, is Punk coming back to AEW?
None of us know. I'm still going to say yes. I will still say yes, he will. There's so much left for him to do in AEW, but I would be lying to you, Brad, if I didn't say that my confidence in that is continuing to waver, especially after this past week. It's so tough to know. Okay, he's calling out Jericho. He's calling out Moxley now. Is this all for the purposes of an elaborate work and to make money when he has the Mox match, when he has the Jericho match? Or is there real heat and bringing Punk back could potentially sabotage all the progress they've made at a company since Brawl Out? I'm going to say yes, but I say that with as little confidence as possible. This is just, of course it's intriguing because drama is always intriguing, but it just makes me sad that is this Punk having beef with so many people seemingly over the years? Is this just a classic case of, like, we know even with coworkers, right? When someone is in beef all the time, or even a student, dare I say, the students we love and care for every day, when a coworker is involved with rivalry or beef after beef after beef, it kind of becomes a situation where it's like, maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Or even ourselves, right? Like,
yeah.
Failed friendships or failed relationships. After a while, I have to look in the mirror and say, well, damn, maybe this is a me issue. Maybe I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know if what Punk's saying is true. It seems like he has a valid case about his health and about, coworkers may be stooging off what's going on to the Dave Meltzers of the world. But I just want to see this guy back in the ring. I want to see him mend these relationships. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But for now, I'll say yes for my own personal interest. What do you think? Do you think this sabotages any chance of him returning this year?
Man, I want to say no and that he'll be back, but what prompted this? It's so weird. This feels completely out of the ether, right? Like, this is just sort of, why now? Nobody brought it up. Nobody was talking about Punk. Nobody was talking about this in particular. Nobody was talking about injury status. Nobody was talking about healing. We know for sure this wasn't a drug or alcohol fueled tweet or Instagram post, because you can't live straight edge and say all those things and then us be like, oh, he's definitely not. He's definitely drinking and posting. No, we know he's not doing that, which speaks to me like he's got some other issues. And it like, very clearly, people that get into combat sports have personality types that are going to end up being a little bit more on the aggressive side. Maybe it's that. Maybe he just wanted to defend himself. I just don't know who he's defending himself against. Everybody, the consensus online before this was, I hope he comes back. I haven't seen a lot of like people going like, he should stay away forever right now. At the time of Brawl Out, yeah, absolutely. People were like, stay away from ever, good riddance. You're a locker room cancer, in the words of Chris Jericho, who had a hilarious response post of Matt Hardy's delete after Punk took his down. And then Punk did a couple of other weird things. The Shawn Michaels gay love in the waterfall story, and then he posted lyrics afterward. I don't know if he was just trying to play it off as no big deal, because he was posting it and deleting it and posting it and deleting it. I don't really know what that was. It feels like dude snapped a little bit, and I don't know what was the thing that precipitated the Instagram post storm. It just seems weird to me, Tyler. I don't understand why it's happening. I don't understand why now. That's the part that got me. It wasn't just the post. That post makes complete sense a week after, or once litigation was over. Maybe it took this long for it to be dropped. I don't know. Maybe the litigation was because, you know what, you've pissed me off, and now I'm going to come after you for making me work when I wasn't cleared medically. But that explains why the squash happened. It also is Rocky 3. Rocky 3 is Clubber Lang beats the hell out of Rocky, and then Rocky has to get up, dust himself off, really reflect on who he is as a fighter, and then come back in and win, which is exactly what Punk did. His promo following that squash was, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. I'm not sure who I am. And then he flipped it and was like, I'm coming for you and I'm taking that title. And it was awesome.
I need all of Chicago behind me. And, he's a hero in the audience. Yeah, absolutely.
It was Rocky 3. So
yeah.
Mox refusing to lose, if that was because of the Rocky 3 storyline, then he's not refusing to lose to you. He's refusing to lose for the story, because it makes your win better and bigger. It makes it mean more. So like, I kind of felt like Mox was setting him up for a bigger win by refusing to lose. And then he was going to go on his nice long vacation, which just never happened because Punk got hurt. Everybody got suspended. Everything hit the fan. It was crazy. I don't think he's coming back, man. Like after this, I just can't see a path back for him after going out and publicly burying arguably the face of AEW and Jon Moxley, one of the pillars of the company, certainly one of the most important people in the business sense, Chris Jericho, who I don't always agree with, but like he's inarguably one of the most important people in AEW history, and currently in their.
I mean, he was the inaugural champion. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not really
pay-per-view, and obviously a critical role backstage. Absolutely.
And he's been part of some of the biggest matches or the most unique matches. Some of them weren't good. The Mimosa Mayhem, but
that's at the bottom of the list for sure.
Right. But we had Stadium Stampede because of him, Anarchy in the Arena because of him.
Him versus MJF
has been in them. Him versus MJF. The whole MJF thing led to that musical. Like all of it was
and the Inner
crazy.
Circle was pivotal in that first year. They were from the conclusion of episode 1 throughout that next year and change. The Inner Circle was paramount to getting AEW off the ground. Yeah,
and I just CM Punk is a huge draw. I'd love to see him in AEW. I want to see him work. You can't publicly put stuff out there like that. I think they said that he would be willing to apologize for the all-out media scrum, but not for the backstage stuff. And I'm fine with. I don't really care about that. I got last question for you, or follow-up question. Does all of this happen if the scrum doesn't happen? If they fight backstage, are we in this circumstance right now? Or is CM Punk still on our screen?
I think so. I think we would end up here regardless. I just don't understand. I think with the backstage, when you say backstage, you mean the brawl, right?
Yeah, because fights happen in wrestling backstage all the time.
But it was the visible, the scrum of him burying his coworkers and thus you could argue the company. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks we would still find our way here somehow. The scrum was just seemingly indefensible. Even if you have beef with your colleagues, it's just, I think we would all agree. And probably even CM Punk, Phil Brooks himself would agree that was not the best way to handle it. No. It just makes me so sad. And then I think we as content creators, as people who talk about AEW and wrestling, we want to sort of analyze like, well, who was right and who was wrong. And for a while after our coverage of Brawl Out, I thought to myself, well, maybe this is all ridiculous. And my comments are nonsensical because we don't know these people. We don't know. We have the reports, shout out to the Fightfuls of the world, but we don't know exactly what happened and who's right and who's wrong. And it goes back to your article about feeling the need to choose a side all the time. I would like to think that if the scrum didn't happen, we wouldn't be in this spot if it was just the backstage beef. But part of me thinks that we would still be here because for whatever reason, CM Punk is one of one, and he's a very divisive character, seemingly on screen and off. It kind of feels like all of this was inevitable, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, but I just want to see him on the screen again and fulfill all these matches and rivalries that we want. And you remember when he came in, he was like Uncle Punk. He was the good guy.
Yes.
He put over Britt Baker. I think his first words in an AEW ring were Britt Baker.
You make a guy feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh. Yes.
The first night he set up the match with Darby Allin.
Yes.
It was just Goodwill Jones. All of it was there. All of this is just so baffling and sad to me.
Yes, because he had some incredible moments while he was there. The Sting face paint, like
it was a great year. Yes.
The FT Punk or FTCM Punk or whatever they called it. All of that was so much fun. Like, it was so good. And then it just wasn't. And I'm so sad about it. Imagine if you or I got up in front of a staff meeting and just started burying everybody very publicly. and the thing that I think that is undersaid is that when he went out and cut that promo on Hangman and I think on Mox and then started doing Snow Angels in the ring, like that was like the first meltdown, I think. The first public meltdown.
Yeah, you can't. Right.
But he yelled at the Tron, the apology must be as public and as loud as the disrespect. And I'm like, you're going to have to do that now. Like if you come back, you're going to have to be the one that does that now. So I just
can't.
So strange,
even if there's beef, yeah, like you saying, all right, Hangman, come on out. Not scripted at all. Hangman's not coming out.
He's in catering, eating lunch.
That's not gonna have a good outcome. It may feel good to you in the moment, but like you may be the biggest star in this company right now, but you are not bigger than the company. And they're doing well without you. Like they've had a consistent set of shows where it seems like they got that AEW magic back, and you pop up on the IG story, and I don't think this is helping the case for you to return.
People aren't talking about that incredible main event, man. Like one of the greatest matches in AEW history.
It was amazing, yeah.
And people are talking about CM Punk, who's not even there, and it makes me like us. It makes me sad to think about it because we got somebody online complaining about people instead of giving them flowers. And Tyler, it's time to talk flowers. It's once again, I believe, the final edition for this season, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Of a rose from Tyler. Play the music.
And now, for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Seamless transition, my man. I think you and I could go on about the Punk thing for probably at least another 10 minutes. Yes. So I'm so glad you cut us off. I don't know how to feel about it. I just want him back. And
me too.
We'll see what happens. But you are so right. We made it. It is finale week of The Bachelor. Much like your spring break, Brad, I don't know how we've reached the end of this. It's pretty surreal to me. But I want you to know, Zach, last week he had 3 women remaining. He sent Ariel. I don't know. My apologies there. Ariel. I think it's Ariel, because I was regretting, like, I've been speaking about her for weeks and haven't said it correctly. Ariel. He sent her home. She's the 28-year-old marketing exec from New York. She's gone. The biggest drama of last week's episode surrounded Zach's pledge that he would not sleep with any of the women during Fantasy Suites. I know you watched The Bachelor many, many moons ago, Brad. I'm pretty sure they had the Fantasy Suites back then. It's still the same gimmick. Final 3 Fantasy Suites, the implication is that the lead is going to have sex with all the remaining contestants and make their decision from there. So he told each of them this pledge. He was not going to engage with any of them in that way. Ariel was first up, and apparently he stayed true to that pledge. Then came Gabby. She was next on the episode. Brad, they did the thing. Zach then proceeded to ask / just sort of let Gabby know that he would be sharing this intimate information with the final contestant, Katie, during their upcoming fantasy suite. He ended up following through on that. This was an absolute mess, man. Everyone ended up upset at Zach. It was clear to me that he overthought fantasy suites in a very Clayton Eckerd-like fashion from a previous season or two ago. Katie seemed to forgive him by episode's end, but it's clear that Gabby is not okay with how all of this went down. I don't have a question for you this week, Brad, but I will share my prediction.
Thankfully you don't. Yes.
Yeah, there's no way I can. I don't even know how to shape a fantasy suite adjacent question. But my prediction is this: it's a no-brainer. Katie is absolutely winning. She is going to get the proposal from Zach. I'm almost positive Zach is going to go ahead and send Gabby home. Gabby even said that she feels as though she kind of has a scarlet letter on her now. So we're in this awkward position of there's 2 contestants left. It's public knowledge that Gabby and Zach slept with each other, and Katie has not. So couldn't imagine being Gabby. This seems like a very, very difficult situation. This season's been okay. I'd give it, being very generous here, maybe 3 out of 5 roses. I appreciate you and all of our viewers and listeners following along each week. I know no one has ever skipped this segment when they look at the timestamp. I'm sure it's never happened. We have charity season forthcoming, so more Bachelor talk, but obviously we'll take a hiatus from it. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Of course, if you're hearing this when it's released on Monday, please let us know what you've thought about the season, what your prediction is. We're at GIPod19, and yeah, man, it's been a wild ride this season.
Well, I appreciate you doing the work by watching this for GI and not for your own personal benefit, and giving us updates every week. It's nice to live vicariously through you because I don't want to watch it. But we actually had other stuff to talk about this week, right? I think we're going to forego that for the sake of time. Tyler, what did we miss this week?
Yeah, man, I think we missed hopefully not a lot. We have a huge ROH Supercard show, which is effectively going to kick off this massive, maybe even the largest wrestling weekend of the entire year. We've had matches added to this card, notably Vikingo versus Commander. So this is just the elastic, I don't know, what do you think? Elastic Mayhem Bonanza? Is that where we're gonna title this one?
Yeah, I think Vikingo, I said was tornadoes made out of elastic. This is several F5 elastic tornadoes colliding into each other.
Yes.
Commander rules. I love the mask. It's oh man. It's when I saw that added to the card, I was like, do I pull the trigger on this? Because it's only
tempting. You got that tag ladder match.
If I wouldn't have wasted my money on 2K23, I'd probably be buying it on Supercard of Honor.
It comes back to 2K. We started here and we end here.
Yep.
For me, at least, the ROH Super Card show looks amazing. We got Athena obviously on there. I am really excited about the main event. This could be Eddie Kingston's crowning moment. He could beat Claudio. So I'm really excited to see what becomes of that. Obviously, NXT will then be the next event on Saturday morning. I know you have complicated thoughts about, or not even complicated. You're just not a huge fan of NXT. Yeah. I must confess to you, though, I know we haven't spoken about it on this episode, but Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes is my most anticipated match of the weekend. I know that might be blasphemy to some hearing or watching, but I'm really excited about that. And I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing match. I think it's Carmelo's time to be champ, but we'll see. Other than that, Brad, between ROH and NXT, I don't know that we missed a ton. We have Cody and Roman facing off for the final time this week. I think that's set for SmackDown. Bianca, Asuka. We learned that Cena and Austin Theory are kicking off Mania weekend. So it's a very wrestling-centric update from me here. But I think we covered a majority of the headlines. How about you?
I was trying to find out is Supercard of Honor on Fight or is it on Bleacher Report?
Oh, that's a great question.
Because the 0 hour is on Fight, but I can't find. Yeah, I can't find it, man. Because I think I have fight credits. If I have the ability to purchase it on Fight, I will do it. If
Yeah, if you
I
have those credits,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. If not, I will not. But we'll find out. Yeah, I don't know if we missed anything else. I mean, there were matches we probably could talk about. I know everybody, including myself, was super excited for Cody Rhodes versus Kaiser. What an event! Jesus. The promo afterward to set up the match with Solo and all the stuff with Paul was amazing. And Cody just basically saying, "You're not ready," and it was great, excellent. Didn't need the match at all. It's just sort of people on a card. So I'm glad Cody is wrestling a lot. I think that's great for the company. I think it's probably what he wants to do. And yeah, well, he'll make a great champion when he finally dethrones Roman. We'll see how all that plays out. I can't wait for it. That's what I am also looking forward to this week. It's Wrestlemania, ROH. There's so much wrestling this week. I don't know, 1,000 hours of wrestling content this week. We'll see. My guess is that we're going to have 2 shows for people this weekend. We'll find out together, as neither of us know yet.
Yeah, that's definitely to be continued. We're leaving our audience on a bit of a cliffhanger, but that's simply because we don't know, Brad. We're trying to cram in our wrestling content with our day-to-day jobs and grad school. I know we're going to plan a grad school segment. I don't know that we have time anymore, but I want everyone to know that group work absolutely sucks.
The worst.
It's terrible. We had our first group Zoom this past week, and only myself and one other person showed up in a group of 4. And then 2 days later, we had an evening Zoom on a Friday, and one member doesn't have their camera on. Everyone is complaining about the course and is complaining about living in Arizona. And I'm like, no, but I love Arizona. And yeah, this course sucks, but like, let's figure this out. So anyway, man, that's on the horizon for me. We missed our grad school update. Group work is terrible in an online format, but there is no but to it. It's just bad.
No, I'm with you. I couldn't even find the group thing. We had a group sign up, but there was no, at least I couldn't find them instructions on what to do because it says sign up for a group. And I was waiting for like, okay, sign up for this group. No, I'm just supposed to go in there and click the button, sign up and see how many people are in there. Okay. I found that out after the first group project had already started. So I was in there giving feedback like hours before the thing was due. Felt like a really bad teammate. And there's just so many different places to navigate on this particular platform for group work to be possible that I'd rather just be like, all right, everybody reply all. We're emailing this thing because it's like a mess. So even the messages I got, I replied all, and it includes myself. So I was like, oh, I have an unread message. Let me check. Oh, it's from me. So it's very confusing. It's very complicated. Not looking forward to it, but it's the way this class is set up. So we'll grind through it. We're on unit 3 of 10.
Let's go.
Well, unit 4 now of 10. So we're almost halfway through.
Yeah, it was an eye opener for me. I'm like, no wonder I've had so many students in the past who openly express their distaste for group work.
Yeah.
But at least that's in an in-person environment where you can look each other in the eye, maybe size each other up a bit, and sort of commit to this oath of we're going to get this done. Online, it's this nebulous sort of, I think it's an unspoken rule that we all have our cameras on, but maybe not.
Should be.
Anyway, man, like you said, these courses are just a mix of being several weeks. We'll get through it. Luckily, we got hopefully some great wrestling to pull us through this week. And man, I can't wait to be here a week from now and talking about all that we witnessed.
That's going to be a good one, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this loaded episode of GI. You can find Brad at WindDuster on Twitter. You can also find me at Tyler J. McDowell. And we hope you not only had a blast on this episode, but we certainly hope you'll join us next week too. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.